If you want to walk in spiritual power, if you want effective prayer life, be sure that you don't run by the altar trying to get to the menorah and the table of showbread for the Spirit and the Word. Hi, the Spirit Filter with 10 minute tour, day 5 of Trumah. We're talking about giving a voluntary offering so that the things of the tabernacle and the tabernacle itself can be constructed. Let's go over to chapter 27 of Exodus or Shemot and look at verse 1, which says, "And you shall make a slaughter place of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide, and the slaughter place is square, its height 3 cubits. And you shall make its horns on its 4 corners, its horns are of the same, and you shall overlay it with bronze." Translating the cubits to feet, we generally get the idea of a 4 square altar, approximately 7.5 feet by 7.5 feet, and about 4.5 feet high. This acacia wood box, if you will, has a grate on it that goes down a bit underneath the top. And the grate is of bronze. The structure is overlaid with bronze. You might ask, well, why not gold? Well, bronze endures the flame. Gold would begin to melt away. So the bronze has the ability to deal with the heat. Bronze also speaks to us of judgment. That's a double. That is that the altar is a place of judgment. And we're not talking about the fireball judgment and lightning strikes of Elohim against us, but rather where we do as Yeshua instructed, we judge ourselves lest we be judged. This is the place where we bring the rascal of ourselves, the undesirable part of our being, where we present the negative tendencies, issues, the evil inclination. This is where we bring the man of the flesh to do away with him. That is, that the man or the woman, the case may be, of the spirit may rise up and live in our stead. Rashi says that this bronze aspect of the altar is to deal with the brazen forehead, that is the hard-headedness of ourselves. And Isaiah chapter 48, verse number 4 says, "Because I knew that you were hard, and your neck was an iron sinew, and your forehead bronze." Going over to Jeremiah chapter number 3, verse 3 says, "Therefore the showers have been withheld, and there has been no latter rain. You have a whore's forehead. You refused to be ashamed." So there is this sense of being obstinate and rejecting of conviction, the rejection of the power of the Ruach or the Word, or even a combination of both, to bring about a sense of, I need to change. Rather, we are very obstinate and willing to walk according to our own way. Now, the process of this altar as it would function as mezbeach, if you will. Mezbeach is the word that is rooted in savak. Mezbeach is the altar. Savak, the root, means an offering or to prepare something for a higher purpose. When an animal is brought to the altar, we hear a lot of teaching, well, those poor animals, and they had to kill an animal in order to find the love of God. Well, that's kind of missing the point. It's not that an animal was killed. That's the wrong way to look at it. When we talk about this altar and we present an animal there and the blood is drained, the throat is cut, the animal is not painfully slain, the vein in the neck, the jugular is cut, and the blood is drained, and it is that the life of the animal is lifted to a higher level. The animal's life is given, that it is life force is given, and then the animal would eventually sink to its knees through weakness of loss of blood, and it would pass away. So there is no adrenaline rush. There is no fear. This is not an animal kicking and screaming for its life. It's a very humane way to go about this. The animal's remains according to the protocols of the particular offering it may represent. They are prepared, and its flesh is laid on the altar, and that which was flesh and blood, as we are, is burnt. In the case of a whole offering, an olah, all of it is burnt completely and then thoroughly reduced to ashes. It is the life of the animal that goes up before Yah as a smoke. The smoke is the act of ascension. It is in the yielding of ourselves, the giving of ourselves completely and totally, that our soul and our spirit is able to be elevated and to rise up. The residual part of the flesh is reduced to ashes. Now, even the ashes are given sanctity and an honorable disposal. It's not as though the body doesn't count for anything. It has a purpose. Yah gave us this flesh, this mud form, if you will, as a vehicle. What you see in the mirror is not you so much as it is the particular vehicle that Yah is given to you to transport you through your world, this world existence, so that you can do what it is you need to do. The spirit within you needs hands to grasp and to work and to do. You need you need feet in order to move, or you need a mind to be able to think and to function. All of these things are necessary, but we put primary focus on the body. For those of us that are claiming to be Hebrew roots, well, primary focus on the body over everything else, that's a very Greco-Roman way of thinking. That's westernized thought. Rather, we should be focused on he or she who lives within. And of course, we need to go over to Romans chapter 12. And verse 1 and following says, I call upon you, therefore, brothers, through the compassion of Elohim, to present your bodies a living offering, a whole offering, an olah, set apart, well-pleasing to Elohim, your reasonable worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How do we do that? The same way as the offering laid on the altar. We separate that which is flesh-oriented, that which is ordinary, that which is evil, that which is fleshly, from that which is spiritual. We renew the mind away from the flesh and push it over into the realm of the spirit, so that you prove what is that good and well-pleasing and perfect desire of Elohim. Now, verse 3 we don't normally read here, but we're going to today. Verse 3 says, For I say, through the favor which has been given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he should think, but to think soberly, as Elohim has given to each a measure of belief. Don't get all puffed up. When we go running to the Spirit, I just want to live by the Spirit, or we go running to the Word, well, I just want to go deep, deep in the Word and find out all of the deep secrets of the Word. Doing that without going first or trying to bypass the altar, where we get rid of self, is counterproductive. Shabbat Shalom to you, to all those who may be gathering with you. May the favor of our King be with you as you gather in His name. May you indeed find rest and find release in His Spirit on Shabbat. Thank you for those who support through prayers, through subscribing, through liking, through commenting. And we'll see you again next week. Until then, Shabbat Shalom.